We just came through some serious storms in this Gulf Coast. Some tore up a state or some tore up 6 states. This Category 5 is tearing up all the states, the whole United States. But this Christopher Columbus Day, leading up to it, there were so many things that happened far as what's happening in elections. The question of nationality and gender and race is a major issue this year. I have not witnessed that much question by the media nor political on blackness. I did another show that I talked about what kind of black are you. I have lived to see both of those things move to a political agenda. We're trying to figure out who our presidents of the past and present is, black and white. What was their nationality and what was their interests? We fail to realize what Christopher Columbus did. He was a person who came from another country and claimed another country. That's still going on. Discoveries. We tired of being discovered over and over because each discovery is nothing but, it's not another hurricane, it's tornadoes hitting within the side. And y'all notice with the storms we just had on the Gulf Coast, the tornadoes that spin off from the hurricanes do more damage sometimes than the hurricane. So what could these tornadoes be? Well, Mr. Waldo, I'm glad to sit here on Christopher Columbus Day and say tornadoes are some of these made up tribes that we've been asking where these people come from. What's their nationality? They don't look like us. They don't have the same traditions and culture as us. Those are tornadoes that spins off of this hurricane, Category 5 that won't leave. I had people came here, tornadoes. We're hearing people now on YouTube angry because the elected officials, the politicians, the news media, they speaking for the people and they are the people. We've had one president that they said was African American, which that is a proper definition for him, Mr. Waldo. And now we have an Indian that you can change her to be whatever color or nationality. People get mad when you say it, but it came out of her mouth, Mr. Waldo, so that's another tornado.
Well, yeah, you're right, too.
To come to this point of all these hurricanes and tornadoes of history, genealogy, and culture, it's just as destructive as the physical hurricane. You know, it's some things you can never fix back once that hurricane come through. Once that tornado come through, it tears stuff up that cannot be fixed. You got to patch yourself up the best way you can.
I think it's worse, just to be honest.
I do too. So we've been struck with that kind of disaster, and we're trying to recover. 500 years or more ago, we got hit by a hurricane from another country. The tornadoes that spin off from it is still here. What was these countries? Spain, France, Britain. We can't leave out the Dutch. We can't leave out the Germans. Everybody done had a spin-off. So what did they want? The treasures. They wanted the treasures. They stripped the treasures. They tried to destroy all of our people. They altered history. Just like it took a long time for people to find out Christopher Columbus didn't discover America. Never set foot on it. So today, I was in a meeting. This has been one of many meetings we've had in the last 2 months, or should I say 3 months. That, to me, is the first time we come in within these tornadoes and this hurricane and doing an assessment. Is that a good way to put it, Mr. Waldo? An assessment is being done.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because we got to figure out where the damage is before we can even start to fix it.
So we in the assessment zone.
Hey, it ain't no FEMA.
No, it's no FEMA for us. It was never a FEMA for us. It was never a Red Cross. It was never a Salvation Army because we were our own people that took care of our own needs like we're doing now. I'm proud, though, Mr. Waldo, to sit here with you in Oklahoma, and I'm here in Bonfaka, and I'm saying this park now will no longer bear the name of Salmon after next month. That is part of fixing something that the storms and tornadoes tore up. So I'm sitting here in the ruins doing an assessment. And to say it's Columbus Day, and he was one of the storms, today is a perfect day to do this assessment. So I'm proud to say that as of the 7th of next month, this will be Bonfaka Nature Park. Or should I say historic Bonfaka Nature Park. The trace is going to become Bonfaka, historic Bonfaka, Tracehead. With the city of Slidell, we have things coming up there, and Trace name is going to be changed on the Slidell part. Well, not changed, but it's going into the new last part of the phase. And it will be named after the Choctaw and the Shafunta Nation. I've met with my senator and state representative, the mayor, the parish council chair, and we all are working from our standpoint to get the proper history for the people. I'm proud that they all have teamed up with us. I do have some professors we're going to bring on board, not to do my research, because I have my stuff, but to verify what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying, Mr. Waldo?
Yes, ma'am.
So it's like the assessment I've been doing need to be reassessed, and then it need to be tabulated. And I'm not here because we're asking for reparation. Reparation to me is like Esau. for the Indian tribe. I'm not speaking for other groups. For us, it'll be like Esau, Mr. Waldo. It'll be selling up our birthright. And that's not what we Indians want. We want what you get when a storm hits. Restoration, preservation, and protection. And to be able to say that we are working on this as we speak with our government, on a government-to-government relationship. We are not for us to be restored under Article 14 because my grandfather signed the treaty, but to restore the knowledge to the other people who we are. It's a great day. I'm going to make y'all laugh, though. I told y'all earlier, I got suspended out of school because I wrote about what Christopher Columbus was. I got 3 days out of school, and I went hunting and fishing with Grandpa. Grandpa told me don't worry about it. So I learned something on them 3 days that they suspended me. But I still say, and I'll say it now, first, he never came here, and he discovered on this land murder, robbery, rape, and stealing. Now, he didn't directly do it. It was done indirectly by the people that was with him from the islands. His brother's people did that. Y'all with where I'm at? Because they never talk about Christopher Columbus' brother. That's who actually came to these parts. But I always remember reading the letter that he wrote to Isabella. He wrote the letter to Isabella, and he said these were the most nicest people he had ever met. Most beautiful people he ever met. He said, I have found God's people. We was peaceful people. You know, right now there's a question. What kind of black are you? Like I said, I did with the show. And people starting to find out that we got all kind of blacks in here. My question is, what kind of native are you? Y'all getting what I'm saying? And foundational black have a right to say, what kind of black are you? Because the other blacks are benefiting on what should be foundational blacks stuff. You understand, Mr. Waldo? And have taken advantage for 60-some years of the Civil Rights Bill and the Voting Rights Bill. We have not had a foundational black president.
Ain't even had a foundational black candidate until West tried to run.
And he was pushed out the race.
By who?
By the Democrats for no primary.
That's where the rubber meets the road. You got to look at who pushed him up.
No primary.
No chance.
So I accept foundational black as a good definition. Okay?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that either.
That's a good definition because they're not taking my spot and I'm not taking theirs. Now, I'm an aboriginal of this land. I'm indigenous to this land.
That's it, indigenous to the spot.
So the question is Native American, aboriginal, or indigenous? The question is, where did all these tribes come from? The question is, how did we come up with Native Americans? Which when I do my research, Native American come under the Naturalization Act. After the Naturalization Act, anyone that was here already became naturalized. Anything came afterwards were immigrants. So I'm not an immigrant, I'm not a slave. But the people who came in as immigrants, Mr. Waldo found some kind of way to make us lesser than. Now I'm going to jump to the present. I said this and I'm going to say it again and I'll say it over and over. I never could understand how a black man finally, because Jesse Jackson ran, he got the majority of the popularity vote, but he still didn't make it to be the president because the Electoral College determined who's going to be the president. So when President Obama ran, we as people of color, now I'm talking about a whole nother situation. People of color now eliminates you from being black and Native American. It puts you in a non-white situation. Y'all with me?
All by yourself.
And I tried to figure how a non-white man became president. And we voted for him because we thought, hey, if we get this non-white person, he say you're African American, maybe we'll see some changes and people would investigate what happened to the people of color. And some of the bills that was passed, voting right bill, he'll sign the voting right bill because none of the white presidents wanted to sign it. And that didn't happen. It didn't happen by Democrat whites. It didn't happen by Democrat black. And it makes me wonder, where do you get representation? How do you get representation? How did this black man win? He said he was black. It wasn't until after the lighting of the White House into the rainbow colors I start really thinking. He did not run to represent us. He ran to represent them. And it didn't take me long to realize and see him making laws to protect them. And what laws he didn't finish getting in, the next administration of Democrats did, which was then the Biden and Kamala term. They then start making it a hate crime to even question. But back up a little bit, I left and went independent when Obama did that because it was against my religious belief. But he was able, as a man, to override the Bible and create his law over God's law. I found that to be very scary, and the Bible says, come out from among those you unequally yoked with. Right, Mr. Waldo? So I wasn't yoked to that, so I came out from amidst it. As a civil rights leader, I fought to have my rights to vote for who I want to vote for without being intimidated. And I'm not going to allow anybody, any party, any race to tell me who to support. So here on Christopher Columbus Day, I'm here to say this. I'm going to vote for who I want to vote for. I'm going to vote for who's going to support my agenda. I don't hear neither candidate talking about these disasters that we went through, just like I don't hear too many. I'm talking too much about the disasters that other states, 6 states went through just the other day.
Mm.
And soon something else come up, the disaster go on another page, and what's going on now take the front thing. So what we're doing is fighting for ourselves, for recovery. I fought for relief. I don't have to do a reentry. I just need recovery. And I'm honored to have elected officials in the state of Louisiana that I could sit here on Christopher Columbus Day and say I am proud to have leaders that is none-colored, standing for the truth. And what our plan is, and when I was honored to sit here, Mr. Waldo, with you there, they was talking about that they turn the page. Well, we turn the page in our history. I'm not turning no page for you, but we are turning the page.
Yeah, that was good one there, boy.
And in turning the page, I'm turning the chapters after each page. We're going to expose the wrongdoings. We're going to use records in Washington, D.C. to be the receipts. So we have receipts. Just like Candace Owens and all of them is going through the receipts of the candidate, we're going to go through the receipts of these conquerors. We're going to go through the receipts of where did Christopher Columbus go. We're going to go to the receipts of his behind being lost. Now, coincident, America find ways to confuse issues. So we got to know what kind of Indian you are now too, Mr. Waldo. Are you an American Indian or Indian from India? Because nobody's saying India, they just saying Indian. So they created names that they can move through time and be who they want to be. When I was coming up, brown people were colored people.
Thank you.
Basically, who they call black and Negro. So we got some brown people getting what belonged to the people who suffered through Jim Crow. And foundational black movements need to be looking into that. We are looking into what happened to the Indian community. The show I'm going to do tonight is going to dig into some of this where the Indian community don't know who they are and how they can have state recognitions without having facts and receipts. Then it comes to politics. So why I'm keep bringing politics in, politics changes you from who you are to who they want you to be. Because now I'm not a woman, I'm a birth giver. I'm anything but a woman. When they ask black women in leadership, like on the Supreme Court, and she's supposed to be highly educated, and they say, tell me, what is a woman? And this lady sit there and say, oh, I don't know what a woman is. I can't define what a woman is. I'm not a biologist. Well, you don't need to be in Supreme Court. But she got appointed there by this administration. My grandson is not a woman, and he can tell you what a woman and a man is at 7. My granddaughter's 11, she can tell you. We have another storm. You know how the storm came behind the storm? Did just about as much damage to some places. Well, this is what it is now because a woman cannot fight to say she a woman. I heard on one thing where they're asking to remove the lyrics. Me and I was talking about this the other day again. From the song, 2 songs I know for sure. I read the song, Real Woman, Natural Woman. They don't want that there. James Brown's song, This Is a Man's World. They don't want that there. So we know now politics can change anything that was natural. It's either it's time we rethink who we voting into office, because they could be erasing history more than preserving history. They could be erasing us as a people more than help preserve and take care of us. And you know, my thing is, we're going to have to take, and I'm not quoting Trump, this is my saying, saying it before Trump was even a politician. We got to take our country back. Not by color, not by party. But the place that America, that when they stole it from us, Mr. Waldo, that they put into their Constitution, and the Democrat Party, who was protectors of the Constitution throughout my whole time, registering thousands and thousands of people to be a Democrat, I find them messing with the Constitution of the United States too much.